everybody. Kevin Harlan here with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr as we get set to bring you all the action. We're at the Energy Solutions Arena. Utah fans are cheering for their Jazz. So here's Miami's starting group. Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. LeBron and Bosh are the 3 and the 4. And it's Anthony in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And for Utah, Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson up front. Devin Harris is out there with Bell, and it's Howard in at the 3 spot.
Well, last year was a very tough year for Jazz fans, and so many things went wrong for them. If you look for a bright spot, maybe it's their play against the Eastern Conference. They went 18-12 against the East.
And the Jazz start out with the ball. Now here is Harris. Howard kicks to Jefferson. And stolen by LeBron.
Good defense there. He was just waiting for that one.
Chalmers dishes to Anthony. Releases from 15.
And not really the guy you want taking that shot there.
Here's Harris. And the rejection by LeBron. Out of bounds. And they retain possession. Here's Jefferson. He's picked up by LeBron. Jefferson passing to Millsap. He passes to Howard. Passes it to Bell. 5 on the clock. It's rebounded by Bosh.
Well, Chris Bosh's numbers overall last year were a little down, but you would expect that given that he was playing with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to speak with Eric Spoelstra for a moment. He told me that they need to play with the kind of intelligence and intensity on defense that has often been their trademark. He said, we win games with our defense. That's no secret. And that's exactly how we plan to win this one. Gentlemen?
Terrific, Doris. Thanks. Clark, what's your take on that?
I like the mindset they're coming in right now. I think it's the right mindset. A strong defensive effort from them today. I mean, I think it's essential.
Steve?
You all, no question. If they can have success defensively, they're going to create some offensive opportunities for themselves in transition.
Here is Harris. Gathers, and he converts the layup. Harris has got the opening field goal of the game for the Jazz. And for the Heat, a lack of quality size inside. We've known that really since they put this new version of their team together back last summer. They really needed Bosh to step up defensively, Clark, and be active.
And Kevin, I think he did a pretty good job of that, all things considered. I mean, the Heat were a top 5 defensive team, and he was an important part of that. Definitely bought into what they were trying to do defensively. Credit to him. I mean, he had to sacrifice quite a bit of what his prior role was, and he's making it work.
It's stolen by Wade. Anthony kicks to LeBron. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials on the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, that should be a rule. No layups. Protect the paint. Make them earn every point.
Yeah, I think that's just tough, hard-nosed, smash-mouth basketball. Make your opponent earn their points from the line. Don't give up any layups.
And when LeBron joined the Heat last year, guys, I think he really wanted to play with a scorer. You know, LeBron's more of a playmaker, a guy who creates offense for others. And I think he pictured himself teaming up with Wade to be the backcourt of the future.
Now here is Harris. Jefferson. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
You know, down there in the low post is where you really want to create a lot of your offense.
Going back to what Steve said about LeBron and Wade, Clark got a little contentious there, it seemed at times.
Well, you have to expect that to happen, Kevin. I mean, again, 2 outstanding players, 2 brilliant players trying to figure out how to play together. The fact is that LeBron, by his nature, is comfortable deferring. He loves to set other people up, and he's comfortable also taking over when needed. So I think the fact that it took a little while is overblown because that was to be expected. It's not something that was going to come together quickly and at a high level.
Both can be unselfish.
Exactly, and Wade can attack, and LeBron is fine watching him do that.
That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist.
Great work. I mean, you have to decide as a defense just how much damage are we going to allow him to do.
Harris kicks to Jefferson. Covered by LeBron. Anthony against Howard. Bell. Wade picks him up. Just 5 to shoot. It's up a 3, and the basket by Harris. Harris has got 7.
He's feeling it here to start the game. That's 3 out of 4 already.
LeBron against Howard. LeBron dishes to Anthony. Dishes it to Bosh. LeBron left side. Devin Harris covering. And fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2. It's on Al Jefferson.
If there was ever any question as to the value of LeBron, last season displayed it. Not so much in what he brought to the Heat, but the void and the gaping hole he left in Cleveland.
Gordon Hayward's checked in for Utah. Burks comes in for Raja Bell. And the Heat making a change here as well. Haslam's checked in. Harris kicks to Jefferson. He gets a hand on it. And here are the Heat now. Avine has struck the alley-oop. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
So here's Burks after the made shot from Dwayne Wade. And Millsap back it in. Takes it off the glass. And this game is tied up now. Back to that point, Clark, about LeBron and leaving Cleveland. Yeah, they went from one of the top elite teams in the East in the entire NBA to the cellar with his departure. Steve, that is that's a tough ride on the elevator from the top floor down to the basement.
Boy, that was tough. I mean, talk about leaving a void. The 2-time MVP leaves, walks away, and you get nothing back for him. I mean, you got to feel for Cleveland, and now it's about rebuilding their team going into the future.
Now here is Haslam. Good work defensively by Millsap. About 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter of the game. Replay here. Strike slam for him, showing it once more.
Well, that's a dunk you will not see very often. You won't pass that one by.
No doubt about that.
I wish he would, though. You can never see too many of those.
LeBron right side. The good-looking shot from the wing. LeBron's now got 8 points. Here comes Devin Harris. He's got 7.
Bolster was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing. And he was tasked with getting 3 huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
Cole's checked in for Miami. Here's Cantor. He's up against Bosh. Pass to Harris. He feeds it to Hayward. And Millsap back it in. 4 on the shot clock. Tries in the post. And it's good on the layup. He has 6. Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. And the basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs. But in the end, I think Eric Spoelstra did a fantastic job. And he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
Well, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
Here's Harris. 9 points in the game so far. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah. Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin. And I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
You know, you take a look at the makeup of the Heat and the offensive numbers last year. Not a ton of assists, but a lot of free throw attempts. FTAs, we call them. Seemed like they just played to their strengths, and a lot of that was isolating their star player.
Here's Cole. He trains the quick shot.
You start hitting a few of those mid-range shots, and it can open up your whole game.
Timeout is called, first of the game for the Jazz. Clark, you mentioned that stat about the Heat. Steve, surprising they didn't have more assists.
Well, they didn't have a true point guard running things. Mike Bibby was more of a jump shooter, same with Chalmers. But I think a lot of it is that they play very isolation-heavy basketball, as Clark mentioned.
Here's Harris. About 5.5 minutes left to play in the first. James gets called for the reach. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's got them over the limit, and it's still early. They have to play smart, or they could give up a lot of free throws.
Devin Harris taking 2 shots.
That's good from Harris.
Boy, Devin Harris, maybe the fastest scoring guard in the league. He's kind of a combo guy in between a point and a 2, but at 6'3", lightning speed, he can really move.
When you talk about Devin Harris, a combination of driving ability plus a nice step-back jumper make him a real handful for the defense.
Yeah, you know, going back to his days in Dallas, he was maybe their best perimeter defender as well. I mean, with that great lateral quickness and good hands. That's one area of his game I'd like to see him return to, being locked in, being that disruptive defensive force.
Wade passes to LeBron. There's the 3. Rebound, Utah. Millsap's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Now here is Harris. Not a lot of room. Knocks it loose. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession. For the Jazz, Derek Favors checked in for Millsap. Bell comes in for Brooks. And Earl Watson is subbed in for Devin Harris. Here's Cantor. Here's Favors. Banked in off the glass. And it's a 10-point Jazz lead.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and then everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
And LeBron throws it down.
That was a smart pass by Wade that time.
Here is Watson, and here are the Jazz now. They're on a 16-6 run. Kicks to Hayward. And Bosch picks him up defensively. Stolen by Bosch.
And I like the aggressiveness defensively, forcing that mistake.
Come on, fella. Power it down. That dunk was ridiculous.
There was absolutely nobody that was going to get in the way of that.
Not when he's coming with that much force.
Stripped it away.
And, you know, despite the number of turnovers, Kevin, they still got the lead here.
Well, eventually, guys, you know those mistakes will come back and haunt you, so they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
Bell's shot is good.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And, Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
Jazz leading by 5 and stolen by LeBron.
Well, they have a nice early lead here despite not being very careful with the basketball.
It hasn't been pretty, but imagine how well they'd be doing if they could cut down on all these turnovers, guys.
Here is Watson. Right around, 3 minutes left in the first.
Well, Cantor was quite a story last year. He was expected to be eligible to play at Kentucky. but the NCAA ruled him ineligible. And so even though he couldn't play with the Wildcats, he did stick around and help Kentucky through practice, and now here he is in the NBA.
The Heat making the switch here. Jones is checked in. Steve was talking about Cantor. That was a Final Four team without him. I mean, Clark, could you imagine how good the Wildcats would have been with him?
Kevin, you and I have been around the game a long time. Talent always doesn't equal success for a team, so it's hard to say. But clearly, it would have been fun to see how he would have made a difference had he been able to play.
So we need to give chemistry here a little bit.
Oh, without question, no question about it. Chemistry is as important. Well, not as important, but it's right there with talent. You got to have both to really excel at a high level.
Here is Watson. Shoots from the block. The dish to Hayward. Stolen by Bosch. Fast break. Here we go. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. It's going to be on Raja Bell.
You know, Wade's kind of started out last year, Kevin, in the playoffs rather slowly. But I'll tell you what, he woke up in a hurry after the first few games.
And he can't hit the second. Yeah, Clark, going back to Wade, he didn't top 20 points until the third game of that Phillies series against Doug Collins and the 76ers, but Steve then exploded and never looked back.
Yeah, but then he was kept under wraps fairly well in the Chicago series, but then against Dallas, he put in several games where he just exploded. So for Wade, always capable of having a big night.
Now here is Haslam, following the miss by Chris Bosh.
They have been so disruptive defensively. A lot of team speed out there.
Here is Bell. Now the feed to Watson. Wade picks him up. Shot clock at 6. Oh, that's blocked.
Had total domination on the glass by them so far.
Well, the anticipation has been... Watch out below. Run for cover, young fella.
Great matchup here. This game has gone back and forth.
Multiple lead changes. Just a great game, guys.
Here is Watson. 1:32 left here in the opening quarter.
It's so hard to take over a coaching position from a legend, but that is exactly what Tyrone Corbin was charged with last season. I mean, he has a lot of experience from his playing days and being an assistant coach, so it'll be interesting to see how he directs the Jazz in the full season.
Another shot, and Cantor pulls it down. Cantor's got his 4th rebound in this one. Stolen by Bosch. Pushing it up. A finish. Now that's how to finish the break. Throw down with force.
Well, they really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Good point, Clark, on Corbin. Steve, hard to get a read on what he inherited last year.
Yeah, and I think this year will be his first real test. I mean, he'll have a training camp to work with. It'll be his team. And the Jazz have some weapons, but after missing the playoffs last year, they'll have an uphill battle.
That's one nice jam right there. I mean, make no mistakes. Just throw it down with both hands.
Good point. Took care of business simply and solidly. The alley-oop pass. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Now the Jazz with some changes. Millsap comes in for Cantor, and it's Burks in for Raja Bell. Poked away. Burks with the steal. Taps down the breakaway slam. And Steve, 8 lead changes now, and we're still just in the first half.
You know, both teams showing a lot of resilience, I think. Coming back and coming back, back and forth, back and forth.
Reminds me of a song.
I'm not sure I've seen a game with so many lead changes this early on.
Shooting-wise, he's having a tough quarter. And he just seems to have gone cold. Can't find the basket.
Drops in the layup for 2. And now it's a 3-point Jazz lead.
What an offensive display he's putting on.
And at this point, Steve, you got to put more pressure on him. Bring help and make him move the ball.
Wade from outside. The shot is off. And a good game so far as we conclude the first quarter. Jazz lead by 3.